Thank you. I want to thank Deborah for having me, and thank all of you for coming out. Beyond how do you make it, how do you become legendary, how do you become iconic, how do you do something epic with your careers, because some of you are getting ready to step out into that realm. I believe firmly the job of an artist is to draw a line from your life to your art that is straight and clear. I'm going to give you a little bit of my journey so that you can get a taste of why it is that I paint what I paint. And hopefully you'll make that connection with why it is that you do what you do. So my story began, here's my grandmother on the left over here. Inspiring woman because of the fact she was going to be an artist, and when she was getting ready to get a scholarship to Cooper Union, New York City, she had to drop out of school in order to, Great Depression hit, and she had to get back to work and help out the family. So she got married to my grandfather, who was a boxer. So years later, my grandmother picked it back up at age 53. 53, she started painting again. It was right when I was born. And she was the first one to put a paintbrush in my hand and had me drawing ever since. Years later, there's me, and around this tumultuous time, my mother lost my sister shortly after birth and went into a tailspin of depression. So what did I do with it? I made some art out of it.
Visual, you open it up, and it's something that you have to explore as a very non-traditional visual journal. There's baby clothes inside, and they still have the tags on them. Inside of this are birthday cards, which you can open up, sending a bouquet of birthday wishes. With love always, all my love, Mom. You open up the other drawer, and there's visual images of a swing set. This also pulls out and can actually swing just like a swing set. There's sheets of vellum in between to let the viewer know that this is all about memory.
It's straight and clear. I'm doing stuff that matters. I'm doing stuff in an authentic voice. It's authentic to me, to my, what I grew up around and what I grew up loving and being a part of. So this led to something called 31 Nights. It's a project I created where you spend 31 nights in self-portraiture. It's like weightlifting on steroids. This will make you so good in a month's time, you have no idea. And it's based around prompts, based around titles. Obsession, Scene 1. So does this look familiar? It's from my red box. 4, brought back the balloon. Darkest Dreams, A Lighted Way. 30 Days, and Obsession Revisited. And there I am burying the red box. If you study your own style and you do enough work, which is why 31 Nights really works, you do enough work, you can pick up on your own style. You can find your signature. You can find what it is that you do a lot of. So here's what I do a lot of. This work right here, I did long, long ago in the early 90s, and I incorporated the subway maps in that John Gotti America painting. Started doing it again in the Ticket to Ride paintings. It became my thing. Drips, I like people to know that it's an arrived at moment, my paintings. I don't like them to think they magically happen. I like people to know that there was a process behind them, that there was work involved. I like people to let the viewer in on that. So that's why I allow some of those drips to happen, some of those mistakes to happen. So the subway maps returned in this work, in my Carnival series. It returns again in Dominic's painting from the subway map in Cicero. This just became my thing, something I do. And it's really up to you to start really asking yourself why it is that you do the things that you do. Don't look outside yourself to try to find out how to make it. What if I start doing paintings of this? Don't do that. What you need to do is look within. Because if you look within, the answer's already there. Your stories. Everybody's got stories. Your stories are what matter most. and you need to have your authentic voice present in your work. So that's the evolution of my style. I also had some great things happen to me in the realm of education. But this last one, May 14th, I don't remember May 14th because of the Washington Post Awards, unfortunately. Trying to celebrate, but 4 days prior to that, my grandmother had passed away. So it was really bittersweet. This was the last card game I ever played with her. Now my son, he seems to have developed a little bit of both sides of my grandparents on that side too. There he is painting. That's him doing his homework in the boxing ring. So he's boxing. And so let me close with this. Art, in my opinion, is a lot like boxing. Your success is created mentally first. Boxers, artists, writers, musicians, we're all cut from the similar cloth, born from a similar temperament. We're all individuals in the extreme, are we not? And you don't make it and then suddenly feel like a rock star. The rock star is how you have to feel already. Each and every one of you, right here, right now. That's creating success mentally first. Now, we're all products of place, products of our environment, shaping our experiences and framing up how much bleakness or how much hope surrounds us. As artists, like boxers, when the bell rings, we're left alone with it, alone to fight our way out through each new work, having only ourselves to rely on. This can cause artists to build invisible walls that even those closest to us can't scale. But it's through our work, through our imagination and our dedication to our craft, that we give ourselves the power to counterbalance anything in our way. I'll leave you with this. There's no need to look without. You got to look within. Because each of us has a story to tell. Draw a line from your life to your art that's straight and clear. And from the words of John A. Gotti himself, from what his father told him, at the end of the day, all we have are memories. Make as many as you can. Thank you, everyone.